Do you guys wear cologne?
Sometimes if I go out.
No, I'm not a boomer.
Yeah, I feel you. Do you does your wife, does she wear like perfume or anything?
Yeah.
Yeah. What if she wore what if she wore perfume that was scented as a French fry?
No.
I don't like the smell of fast food, and I assume that's something I wouldn't like.
You want to smell like you work at McDonald's?
So that's what I'm thinking. Like you just smell like you.
But but it's a perfume, so I don't know. So a new perfume from the Idaho Potato Commission is saying that this perfume that they just made gives off the aroma of French fries and all their greasy, salty splendor.
Yeah.
Whether you're at the drive-through restaurant or dining in, it's near impossible not to grab a fry and take a bite before you dive into your meal. The smell is too good to resist.
So you just want to be hungry all the time?
The funny thing is, like, I don't want my wife to smell like a French fry. Like, I like
wife smell.
I like a good French fry, but like, I don't want my lady to smell like a French fry.
Well, the thing is, like
you said, it smells like you're working at McDonald's.
It's a smell. Like people pay money for candles that smell like certain like scents, like vanilla and coffee, and those are all things people would consume. But I don't know, man. That's weird for me. I couldn't do it.
See, and they say the commission like did a survey and found nearly 90% of Americans find the smell of French fries irresistible. Again, as a food.
All right. Are we bleeping this episode?
I don't know.
No. No.
I'm just saying. I don't go to McDonald's to get aroused, you know?
I get it.
Like, there's a very different desire whenever I want the smell of a French fry.
Yeah, and I like really good food, but it doesn't, again, arouse me.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
You know someone out there that does have that. They are aroused by a French fry.
Yeah, I'm sure there's people. I'm not going to shame
anyone. Some people want to be French fries.
Oh my gosh, it's sold out.
The fries?
No.
Cologne?
The cologne.
Well, if you only make 2 of them and they both sell, I mean, that counts as selling out, right?
It's only like $2 too.
It's for the meme.
It's probably just grease. It's probably like they just went to the back of McDonald's and like scooped up some of it and then like add some sort of something that would like distill it so it's not solid grease. Just spraying it.
Somebody left a review.
Oh no.
Their name is Idaho. And it's got 5 stars. It says, "Close your eyes, take a whiff. Potato farm, take me away. Incredible." I just like the name. Idaho.
Yeah.
I know what everybody's getting for the next White Santa or the white
elephant.
Santa. White Santa. Here we go. Oh. That's what we call it at the office.
It's white elephant, I think.
Yeah.
Either way.
Mm-hmm.
White Santa. Everybody's getting some funny colognes. I guarantee they're gonna have more sense in this lineup.
I guess. I like it's called Frites by Idaho. That's what it says.
Chicken nuggies.
It's literally being sold by some sort of Idaho Potato Commission. That's hilarious. Okay, roll the intro.
Oh, dude,
that's
face. Weird. It's like the bathwater thing, but from a potato.
Or farts.
From a potato.
No, not dude. Get your potato
farts. You know, the smell of them fermenting away.
I can smell the title already.
I've been spending the last 5 minutes we've talked about this trying to find which card I'm looking for. What episode is this?
Episode 10.
Episode 10?
Episode 10. TRIFLIX cast.
Come on, Tristan, you're supposed to intro what this is. Why are we here? What are we doing?
Well, clearly it's episode 10 of
you clearly
the
don't know
TRIFLIX
who
cast.
we are.
And I don't know who we are. I don't know. Who are you people? What are you doing here? Why are you listening to me? This is the TRIFLIX podcast. This is the amazing show where we interview creative entrepreneurs. And then every other week we alternate with talking to each other about why running a business is the greatest decision anyone could ever do. And
Bing bong.
It's a little facetious, but it's also kind of true. We love it, and as we love it, we grow, we do more projects, we get better, and then we want to share all those little journeys with you. And this is a pretty good platform to do it because we got an hour-ish to an hour and a half. That's usually why we run it. I don't know. You see the timestamp. You saw it before you clicked. You're here.
Who are you, Trajan?
I'm a guy that introduces this poorly.
And that's Cole Ankney.
What's up?
And I'm me.
It's a me.
We
I've
are.
done that before. Sorry.
Yeah,
Why do you say it's me?
it's me.
Why do you say
It's
I'm
a
David?
me.
It's a me.
I'm David.
I'm Mario.
David Doe.
No. That's my at.
The funny thing was I was
Hashtag.
searching for your what would you call it? It's not a screen name. That dates me. I feel like
Username, online
Username,
name,
there you go.
online handle.
I think that's worse.
I don't know.
Username.
Yeah.
I was looking for it, and somebody else is the old Dave
What?
David Doe,
They've taken it.
and you are the
Yeah, they took it, and I had to put the in front of it.
the. He's
Yeah.
the original.
Yeah, I am the
So
original.
yeah,
the only.
he's tagged in everything we put out there. So go check him out. He doesn't post
Yeah.
anything. So
I
go look at
barely
his
post
Instagram.
anything. I'm very mysterious.
You're actually Cole's the only one in the office that uses social media.
True. The funny thing is, every time I post something, if it has any of the faces in this room, if they're in the video or the photo, they get tagged. And I'm sure if they were to log into their Instagrams, they would have like 1,000 just
Oh
tags.
yeah, I noticed it. It's the only thing that shows up in my notifications. It's like TRIFLIX LLC has tagged you in a post.
We should talk about this. It's on the list while we're like in the middle of this, if you guys are cool with it.
Okay.
For some reason, I thought you were addressing the listeners.
No.
Like, if you guys are cool with
I'm
it.
looking right at you. I was looking at you in your eyes.
We're going to talk about it if you guys are cool with it. If not, skip ahead.
You can skip if you want, whatever. No, with the whole social media thing, I have experienced some interesting feelings recently when it comes to social media because if you guys listen to the last Teamcast, now I'm addressing you, the viewer, the listener.
Yeah.
By the way, this podcast is available in video form on YouTube.
Yeah, video and I said video and listener.
Yeah.
So it's been interesting because I have always used social media. Obviously, I've done a lot of photography and things, so it's a great place to share your work. And I like for my family to be able to see pictures of my kids. So I use it for both. And I've never really seen any success. You know, like those big like, oh, something went viral or whatever. Like, look at all these likes I got, dopamine. You know, so it's just like I just kind of used it. Well, now that I'm managing the TRIFLIX accounts, which TRIFLIX Cast and TRIFLIX LLC are two accounts, we keep those separate because it's easier for you guys to find what you want to find. And
Because of the IRS, we got to keep it separate.
Yeah. It's like our taxes.
we don't even mention them. But recently we've been using vertical content. We've been putting it on Reels and we've been putting it on TikTok.
Yeah.
But we've had less success on the old TikTok.
Despite posting identical content.
Thank you. But we're posting natively. We're not saving and then reposting. We're actually using a video that we make and we're posting natively to each platform, which is very favored when it comes to the algorithms. You know, because they're like, oh, we don't want to see the watermark for TikTok or the Instagram or whatever, you know,
Yeah.
and vice versa.
Free advertising for the other company.
Yeah,
for the
right.
competition.
Your competition. So yeah, we've seen a couple videos that recently we put one out that was Tristan's whoopsie. He said a bad word on a voicemail to a client. It's all out there, so go check out that story. We've talked about it before. And we hit 6,500 views today, which was big for us.
Yeah.
That was a
Where
big
was
hit.
that on?
That's on Instagram Reels. So we had taken our own David here, took the footage from our security cameras and repurposed it and
Yes.
added in some subtitles because the audio is horrible on those.
Yep.
And yeah, we put it on all the platforms as a normal clip. And then we decided we'll take it, we'll make it vertical, and we'll put it on these other platforms. And it's gained a little bit of favor.
Yeah.
It
It's a
saw a
good meme.
second life this week because we posted it like 3-4 weeks ago. And it was like plateaued at about 3,800. And then like the last couple of days, it shot up to 6,500. And so I don't know if I can explain it, but it's happening. And it's been kind of cool because when a reel goes I don't know. I don't want to call it viral because
the
I feel
algorithm
fall from
picks
viral.
it up.
Thank you. And I start to see it at a quick. It comes at a very fast pace, way faster than likes come in on like a normal post, which we average somewhere in the, I don't know, probably 60 to 100 like range, depending upon the post. So now it's like when somebody likes this, like I'll go on and the like count is huge because people are just like dot, 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 dot. Because it's like 50-second clip, like quick, move on to the next, like it, move on to the next, like it. I mean, people are ingesting this content so fast. And so, it's kind of scary how much you're like, oh, I could get used to this. Mm-hmm. Like, I like seeing the notifications roll through.
Oh, you're getting drawn in.
Getting the fix.
I know. Yeah. I'm like, shoot.
Yeah. So now,
glad I quit crack cocaine.
Daniel's been been laying out those videos consistently.
Yes. He and I are working together to try and clip out whatever we can and use all of the mediums that we have through all the free marketing platforms. It's worked out pretty well so far. We'll see. I mean, I can't tell you that we've converted anybody to a client, which is kind of the idea, but hopefully we'll see maybe some correlation between subscriber counts and followers and things like that. We've had a big boost in likes on our Facebook page. We'll probably we've already soaked. I think we've already soaked our goal from last year, which those likes came in last year after 48 hour.
Yeah. So
now we're finding another kind of like outreach of people that we're able to pull in and see the content. So it's exciting in the way that we're hoping it will again turn into subscribers and clients. Those are the things that we care about. So they can see our really cool projects on YouTube, and you'll turn into a little bit of cash so that we can keep doing the stuff that we love doing. So, but yeah, no, I've been getting my fix. So watch out, guys.
Yeah,
you take my phone and gonna start freaking out.
Yeah, I'm still on the fence, man. I think I gotta see these numbers. I want to see the graphs. I want to see the data.
I want to see the graphs.
Show me the data. Been trying to beat my viral little quippy thing from that wedding.
I will say that still is technically the fastest we've ever hit 4K. So I mean, literally, it was like we posted that day within 2-3 hours. Boom. All of a sudden, David's video blows up, and it was only like 5 seconds.
Only 5. It was so quick. Like it was just off the cuff thing that we did. It wasn't even planned to be. Yeah.
David and I were shooting a wedding. I roll up to him with the camera rig, and we had our masks on. Because it was probably a couple years ago. And I look at him, and I'm like, "Hey, are you smiling?" And he goes, "Yeah." And I was like, "Oh, for real?" And he goes, "No."
No.
That alone was just like 4,000, like the most we've ever seen on the page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I kept saying, I was like, I think Tristan's video is going to catch up.
Yeah.
And it did. So,
after like a week.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. It was still pretty. I think you're right. It was pretty early on during COVID, so like any like humor about the masks was like pretty fresh. I think
that's true. I didn't think about that.
And so like. Because everybody's still getting used to it, and like, oh, what are the implications or whatever? And it was just like one little funny thing that happened, and I don't know, it probably like tickled everybody's funny bone in the middle of feeling like the world was ending. So.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
I like that. Was such a positive outlook, David.
Yeah. I know. I'm sorry. I need to dial it back.
Yeah, that's way too positive. We're gonna have to.
I'm sorry.
We'll have a talk after the podcast. It's the futurist podcast where everything's doom and gloom.
Yeah. Speaking of doom and gloom, censorship on our own podcast.
Oh, quit it.
With me. No.
Is that on our topics?
It is.
Sweet. Yeah. I love it.
Well, this was
bring it home, David.
Yeah, we have a whole card that's topics for future episodes, and we use that as kind of a rotating thing. And I saw it on there, so I threw it in. Why not?
Yeah. Yeah.
So what'd you do?
I think David
What'd you do, David?
We were talking about how corporations were doing bad things, and I used an expletive of sorts to describe that they're being the poopy doo doo dum dums in their behaviors.
Would have been better.
And it was a sincere moment a little bit, so I just didn't filter it out. It was towards the end of the episode too.
Yeah.
But I asked, though. I knew what I did. I knew I said the word, and I asked the wrong person if I should mute it.
Didn't ask the
And
producer.
who did I ask?
You
Cole.
asked the director.
Tristan.
I asked Tristan. And
Wrong person.
That was the very wrong person
You
to
said,
ask.
I don't care.
And Tristan, you said, leave it in.
Leave it in. It's authentic.
We learned a lesson.
Yeah.
It's okay. And
So-
and we do, as a disclaimer, like we try our best. Like each podcast is as unedited as possible, other than making sure audio sounds good and throwing in credits, intros, outros, and a color grade. That's usually it. But this was just one of those things. Right. My goal has been to keep the explicit content label off of our stuff for now. We're a family show. But you'll be able to listen to it in your car with your kids. But the thing is like, that was the goal. And
every kid's dream. I want to hear about NFTs, Dad.
Yeah,
where's
the future?
Where's the Ronin 4D, Dad?
Hey, that sounds like a cool kid.
It's like a radio show. It's the new online futuristic radio show. When you listen to radio shows when you're growing up with your parents or whatever, they would not say those words.
Exactly.
So you could just flip through the stations, be like, oh, okay, this is probably fine.
Yeah. So we found out through kind of going through that experience. We did eventually take it out. So that was one of the things that we debated and went ahead and just took care of it that way because, again, we were obligated at that point, once it was live, to either mark it as explicit or go ahead and take it out. We did some digging on the way that like podcast platforms work. Which, that's another whole other topic that we could get into if we wanted to, the whole control from these large companies. But the free speech and the platform and the ownership and the money and all the things, So it's just one of those things where I'm like, while we're at this stage, let's listen to them. They help us get out there in front of you guys, give us a voice. Yeah. And it was definitely a moment where we all kind of had a conversation that like eventually, hopefully we can put everything on our own platform at some point. Just to give us that the ability to make our own guidelines.
Yeah. Right. So we caught it. You caught it pretty quickly though. So for those, I think.
No, I'm trying to think about how it came through because all of a sudden I got this message and I am trying to think about. I'm pretty sure it was from you. I think you told on yourself. Tristan, I think you sent me a message. You're like, "Hey, David said the S word at the end of the podcast," and I was like, "I'll say what?"
I remembered telling him it was fine, but I was like, "Yeah, I should probably let Cole know."
But my favorite part was you let me know, and I was like, "David knows better." Like he knows better than to leave this crap in because he does the editing. And so I instantly went into our other chat room with David and Tristan and started in on David. And Tristan was like, he asked me and I said it was okay. Yeah. And then I instantly switched from that chat room back to the Tristan and I chat room. And I was like, dude, WTF.
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we actually
like
added a policy because of that. We just added a producer on all of our projects that, I think all of the projects now have a producer role. Yep. And the producer's job is to view and manage the project from start to finish, including the scope and what is attainable for the vision, while the director's more on the imagery side of things and the creative side of things, which we don't always have a director because some stuff doesn't need it. Stuff like this don't really need a director. It's conversational. So for that point, we do have the producer who manages what goes out. And the fun fact about explicit content on all the podcasts is like the restrictions are a lot tighter than television and movies. It's actually kind of sad how restrictive, but they're there for a reason, and the reason's money for advertisers.
Well, correct. That's the problem, right? It all goes down to the money. Follow the money. It's the advertisers, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And it's not like we couldn't have further conversation and we could do these things. We just have to follow, like, there's a lot less gray in between kind of what you can say and what you can't, and then have to mark it as explicit or not. Because obviously with podcasts, it's either a yes or no. You're either explicit or not. You know, with a movie, you got your, you're rated
The
G,
multiple
rated
tiers.
PG, PG-13, and those have different scopes or different restrictions per each one. This is just either yes or no.
And the reason for that is the audio side of podcasting is more closely aligned with music industry, and music uses the explicit, non-explicit.
Yes, that's true.
As opposed to traditional video, which is like PG-13, you can drop an F-bomb and it's still PG-13.
Yep.
And that's like partly in television as well. You get HBO and you get incest scenes on Game of Thrones, and it's like, yeah, sure, that's like fine-ish. Like, we can put that on TV because Netflix owns it and they can put out whatever they want and all that stuff.
That's exactly right. I mean, it's all controlled by the platform.
Yeah, and
the
it's
platform
partly
says
with
yes.
the advertisers too. So if you're paying a subscription into it, you can opt, like Hulu's weird in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
But like the idea is, if you give them money directly, they make more money off of you directly as opposed to through advertisers. So you get a more creative freedom that way, and maybe that's an avenue for us in the future. But for the time being, it helps us grow a little more exponentially if we keep it within what the algorithm pushes for guidelines until YouTube makes an adult version, because they already had YouTube Kids. They need to have just a place, like if you're a mature viewer, it's like, I just want to go watch content that's like not made for children and isn't like super family friendly. It's like, sometimes I just want to go watch stuff, and YouTube's no longer the place to host that for the most part.
It's true.
Their algorithm doesn't push that content.
Yeah. Well, nor is it a top priority for us to make that kind of content.
No.
I hope that's clear.
But with the authenticity of it, especially for the podcast, if we're interviewing somebody and, you know, somebody has a moment of being genuine and they say something that's genuine.
Yes.
And we already saw the precedent set with Spotify and Joe Rogan. They will back context or $100 million investment, depending on how you look at it. But they sided with context because Joe says a bunch of words that you're not really culturally allowed to say, and the context wasn't actually that inflammatory unless you're offended by specific words. But because of that was how Spotify sided most recently. That can change in the future. That's not every platform, and our podcast goes everywhere, so we try to err on the side of caution.
I mean, eventually, if we wanted to, we could host it off our own website or our own platform, app, whatever, if we wanted to build it out. And then we can write our own guidelines. So
I mean, it's possible to write anything without explicits, but I think it's a creative choice, especially for like short films and stuff. Imagine Saving Private Ryan, where everybody just says, "Oh no, oopsie doopsie." That's bad. That man lost his entire body. And, you know, there's creative decisions on why you do certain things, and that you have some comedians, you know, that throw out every word that they know because they think it'll get a laugh. But if it doesn't push the story, if it doesn't push the joke, if it doesn't help creatively, then why do it? And sometimes I think it's justified, but that's my opinion.
That makes me think of a completely different topic. It's not different completely, but like creatively, it makes me kind of think of Star Wars a bit. Because I don't know, what's your opinion on like the recent Star Wars movies and like their releases and like how they've done? Because I have a direction I want to go with this, but I want to hear your thoughts.
I've enjoyed them. I mean, I feel like I can tell anytime that Disney is behind something. You know what I mean? Like you can almost see the
Mickey Mouse strings.
Yes. Yes. And I'm not saying that that's specifically it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's something you can see. And of course, there was a lot of time in between Star Wars films as well. Culture has changed a lot since, you know, the prequels.
Yeah.
And so has technology. So no, I've very much enjoyed the most recent films and TV shows. So I guess other than knowing that Disney has kind of put their hand on the project, and you can tell. Other than that, I really don't have an issue with it.
Yeah. What about you, Tristan?
I think I've watched all of them at this point. I'm not a huge fan, and I think Disney in general is really good at telling stories, and they are really good at part of stories like world building. Like the imagery's great, and a character has like. Once you establish a character, they're going to make decisions based on like their personality, and I think they do that really well. The reason I'm not a fan of the most recent Disney movies is it feels like a lot of it's like plot armor where the character does what you would expect them to do, but then like the plot is like, oh, that's super convenient for them. Yes. Everything's happy because global market, you know, you have to appeal to a wide audience.
Right.
Yeah. I think that's where it's coming from, but I'm not sure if that's exactly why I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
Maybe there's more to it.
Yeah, so I was watching a movie reviewer channel called Red Letter Media.
Oh, I've heard about it.
Yeah, they're great. They kind of similar to us, where they started out with like wedding videos, and they started doing their own thing. My brother Derek, who we've had on the podcast, recommended me them. Yeah, and that's how I kind of been falling into like movie reviews, and they kind of have a lot of the same opinions I have. But I was watching their.
It must mean they're right.
So,
oh my gosh.
Someone said something that I like, and then, so it means I'm right. But they were talking about how like Star Wars, the guy on there who was saying this, his name is Rich Evans, and he was saying that Star Wars is creatively bankrupt. It's because they are like so far into like being so big that they have to like almost be playing it safe, and they can't do anything new, and so they're kind of like telling the same old stories and not trying to do anything different or creative, which like
it's true.
You can kind of say that about not Star Wars. You can say that about the Marvel movies too.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Because Marvel movies, they tell a great story, but they're very safe. They don't do anything new. They don't try to go out of the box, except for Infinity War / Endgame, which was, I think, were great, fantastic movies. And they also like those. So I'm also in the right with that. But it makes me think of like that, almost like like not like bumper cars, but like the side rails when you go bowling.
Yeah.
Disney has those up for like all those movies. And so like, you know that like, oh, if it goes too far to the left, it's going to go bonk and go off to the right, and it's never going to hit the gutter, or nothing's really going to go sideways. And I know Spotify, I guess they aren't doing that. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was saying, like with the global market, Disney, when they make a movie, they're not making it for the US, they're making it trying to make as much money because they invest a ton of money. So it can't offend anyone in the US because that hurts viewership. It can't offend anyone in China, in Europe, like all the big markets that would come to watch a movie. So, I mean, it makes sense on why they make those safe decisions.
Yeah.
And I think you're right, because as we've noticed too, like what are all the shows that they're putting in between the movies now? Like it's just filling in the blanks in between the original content and the new content. So that's what they're doing. Again, kind of safe. You know?
They're playing it a little bit safe. They aren't acknowledging the new content very much, which I like, because it's just like The Mandalorian's The Mandalorian. It's doing its own thing, and it's really great. I like the first season a little bit better than the second, but I really like the second season. Because like the second season, they kind of fell back into like, remember Boba Fett?
I know.
And it's just like, oh, come on. This was its own thing. You don't have to, but whatever.
Well, and then you also thought that the Boba Fett season was going to be its own thing too. And then it completely
I haven't
wasn't.
seen it yet.
Oh,
because I've been reluctant.
Oh, I thought you said you liked season 2. I was like, dude.
Season 2 of Mandalorian.
Oh, gotcha.
I haven't seen the Boba Fett series yet.
Yeah. Sorry, I think it's like a next season. Yes, it's stupid.
Well, I mean, that's like all the big companies. That's what they're using those TV series, because there's no mid-budget movies anymore. It's all blockbuster movies or indie movies that are like under $500,000 productions. So they put all their testing and like R&D into like these TV shows because it didn't work out, cancel it, you know, like we spent money on it, but it was not nearly the capacity and cost, and it'll keep recouping long after like a movie gets most of its money in the initial release and everything. And then like, you know, Despicable Me, your kid watches it, Incredibles, they watch that like years later and keep watching it. But like the Marvel movies, how many people are going to like, oh yeah, Thor 3, Civil War 2, you know, like I don't see that because it's so episodic.
Yeah, it's hard to, it's like, what are the stakes anymore? Like literally half the universe got snapped away and then they fixed it. Like what can't you fix anymore?
Yeah, I know. Did you guys see the trailer for the new Doctor Strange?
Yes, I think so. I'm excited for it. I do like Doctor Strange because it's just different.
We just watched the What If series, most of it, and we got to the Doctor Strange. So from what I've heard, they're like pretty similar in like
Okay, yeah,
in plot, like not dead on, but like the idea of why there's two Doctor Stranges is pretty similar.
Okay, I tried to watch What Ifs and was not a fan, so I didn't finish the series.
Oh, it was pretty good. It was a little slow at first.
Okay, yeah. But that's the thing too, is like when you look at all of this, it's also just like how much content can we just freaking throw at your face like all year?
Because like milk it.
Well, but I mean, it's like it's almost to a point where it's kind of scary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's like Boba Fett, the season wraps up, and then they announce, the Obi-Wan series.
Yeah.
And it's just like that's always going to be a thing. And then you've got all the Marvel ones in between each movie. Yeah. Which, by the way, if you want it to be, so there's seasons, they're broken down into seasons and movies to watch from the original, like the first, which they call whatever the first Captain America movie is, essentially like the beginning if you watch like timeline wise through the MCU.
It should be like Eternals, and then you have to like pause it halfway through and then go back to watching MCU.
No, there's like 82 shows / movies to watch if you wanted to watch all of them front to back.
Yeah, I went through to look at that list. And it was like, I've actually seen majority of it, which makes me feel even worse.
I was like, dang.
So much time.
But I can only imagine, like, think about, like, our kids. We're going to be like, hey, like, we should watch the Marvel movies. And it's like, hold on, it's going to take us 4 years.
Yeah. It's going to be to the point, it's like, name Marvel movies. And it's like, it's going to be like naming your favorite band's albums. And it's like, I know the characters, like I know a couple like the lyrics and the songs, but I don't remember the albums, like the actual movies. I just remember these like hits from it, Yeah. It's like Iron Man 1, Masterpiece. And it's like, oh, Age of Ultron, that was a big deal. Everyone gets together and like it'll be Thanos and like there'll be like these big hits and then everything else is just like a lull in between them.
Age of Ultron is so good. Like I'm a huge James Spader.
Oh yeah.
I can't say his last name. His voice and mannerisms and stuff. They captured him so well in a CG character. Like, it's so good.
I hear there's a lot of criticism of it just because, like, spoilers. Ultra's like super powerful, and then he just dies. Like it's like 80% of the movie is super similar to Eternals, where it's like a super bad guy, and then they reveal him towards the end, and then he just like done. The fight
have you seen Age of Ultron?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't feel that way because I feel like the way that they pulled it together at the end, right? It's essentially Ultron he himself is not dead, but he just kind of gets transferred into Vision.
Yeah.
So it's like the same person, but they were able to kind of like move it over. So they weren't able to kill him. They just pulled him onto their side.
No. I don't know. I read the internet, and the internet has dumb opinions, but that was one of them. I like Ultron. The movie is pretty good.
Yeah.
No? I was like, you look like you were gonna say something. No.
Like with the Marvel movies too, like you see the same thing happening over and over. Like you kind of just get desensitized to it. It's like, oh, I know they're gonna save the day. Like there's like no weight to a lot of things anymore.
No, I know. More people need to die.
Yeah,
and then
they
stay
need
dead.
To not be afraid to kill
Marvel?
people. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like it's
important people, not somebody that you introduce just for the movie and then get rid of them because like you never had time to, like latch on and like care about them.
It's like Endgame. Like I almost cried.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, so that's the difference. So with the Mandalorian that series, I think the series is a good direction for like Disney and other people to go because it allows you to interface with the characters more.
Yeah.
The dude that Mandalorian first encounters that like helps him on that planet in like the first episode. I forget what he has like some catchphrase or whatever.
I just remember Bill Burr.
Bill Burr is awesome too. But like, there's this alien dude that helps him, and like he's kind of a consistent character, and then he ends up dying helping him, and like that had a lot of weight to it because like you've seen him and everything, you like him as a character, or whatever, and then I don't think you have the time to do that in a movie.
Should they kill?
No, not one movie. No, like if you were going to intro somebody and then kill them off at the end, no, that sucks.
And
don't do that.
I think having like a series and like you can introduce a character just for that series or just for that season, and then they die, that has much more weight than just introducing it for a movie.
I hated Eternals, but if that's all you care about, you'll love it. Big spoilers.
I haven't seen Eternals.
It's like one of the worst rated Marvel movies.
Really?
It's a forgettable.
It's a spoilers.
The forgettables.
Yes,
a lot of death, but the difference is you don't even care about the characters, so who cares?
Yeah, no, yeah, you're right. It does. It intros people and kills them off.
Name
and you're
the
like,
people
great.
that died. You're like, I don't remember which ones die.
I don't.
But I remember like people die. I think yeah, they die.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know, Mobius, whatever from Loki. Was that his name? Mobius. Bent nose Owen Wilson.
Yeah.
Should he have died?
Yes.
You think they should have left him dead?
I would
He
have been
should have
fine
said,
with
wow, and then died.
that. Wow. No, I would have been fine with that. Like, it's a little frustrating, to be honest with you, like how many people they bring back. Like, would I like to see Black Widow again? Yes. You know, would I love to see Tony reprise his role? Well,
No.
yeah. But it's
He needs
also
to be
like,
dead.
but that's what I'm saying. Like, it would be cool and nostalgic the same way they did Spider-Man. But at the end of the day, like, these are also people that they killed and they need to stay dead. No going back in time. No BS.
Yeah.
I don't think you're familiar with the comics. Back in Time is like a staple of every 5 to 10 years when they have to rewrite the scripts for the comics.
That's DC. They've done that like 3 times in a row.
Oh, Spider-Man, he's going to spin so fast around the earth on a web that it's going to go back in time.
Oh my
Squeeze it,
gosh.
make it explode.
He Spider-Man Beyblades the earth with his web, so that it goes back so fast that we actually have the ability to.
No.
But speaking of, while we're on the subject, we might as well, guys. Did you see that Ryan Reynolds spoiled the fact that he's going to be in Doctor Strange as Deadpool?
No, that would be so awesome if he's going to be in.
Yeah, so he said, so this is funny. So the trailer comes out, you don't see him, and then Ryan Reynolds changes his profile on Twitter to read, I am joining the MCU May 6, 2022.
Oh.
Which is the release date, right?
Which is the release date of, and I was like, that I'm excited about.
I like more movies like Deadpool. We need more that like freedom of just having a character do literally whatever they can.
Well, it was
that's what
something
happens-
different.
That's what happens when the
Yeah.
producer and the writer are the main actor.
True.
Yeah. Yeah, Ryan Reynolds has been like killing it recently. He's just been like, I want this and I want it to be done well, and so I'm just going to go do it.
Is
Yeah.
he A-list now? Is Ryan Reynolds?
I think so.
Yeah.
He's got
I
to
do.
be.
He was in the movie with The Rock. So
Yeah.
Isn't he the most paid actor too? The Rock.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure The Rock is. Yeah,
He did the intro to the Super Bowl.
I know.
That was really funny.
Well, I was like, that was a good choice.
Yeah.
You know, like he's
Yeah.
just. Although, gosh, dude, his freaking arms.
I was going to say his arm's bigger than my head.
No, it's insane.
Yeah. I mean,
Dude's huge.
knock on wood. That's some pretty healthy 50-year-old if I've ever seen one. You know, it's all natural. I'm sure nothing going on there.
Yeah, I know.
Have you ever seen a 50-year-old that jacked? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's intense. I get it.
That's a whole other thing, man. Like the body dysmorphia thing. They always talk about how unhealthy it is for like females because like Instagram, it's like all unrealistic. Facebook puts out a whole publishing on why their own app is terrible, but like for people's body image, especially young females, and does nothing about it. And they're like, what's the algorithm? We can't tweak it. And like, even with all that, as bad as that is, it's like, it's so completely dismissed the fact like so many people use steroids, especially like in Marvel. You don't get jacked in 6 months. That's it's not how bodybuilding works in general. It's like you're taking a special substance right there. So like the fact that like all these kids are like, oh, I want to look like a supermodel on the runway. And then all these boys are like, oh, dude, these dudes are so jacked. All of my Marvel movies, I want to look like the figurine. It's so sad. And there's like
I don't know.
Dude, I don't look at any of these guys and think it's attainable.
Well, you're
I'll be honest with you.
you're also not 12.
Well, that's true. Like, I saw The Rock and I was like, dude, never. I would never be able to do that.
Like, there's certain people that I don't know for certain anybody that is or isn't on a substance to get their performance. But, like, Joel Mchale, he allegedly has had hair fixins to help fill back in his hair because his hairline was super receded. Yeah. But as far as his workout, he's like super religious. Like he's been doing this same routine and workout and the same dietary for the last like 15 years. Like his body's mostly natural. The hair's probably not, but he's never openly said he's had hair plugs or hair surgery, cosmetic surgery for it. And then
hair fixins. I think we should stick with that.
Ryan Reynolds, like I think he could be, but like, was it Paul Rudd got fit in like 1 year and he was so ripped that he couldn't even fit in the suit that they originally sized him for anymore. It's like that's where it starts to get like pushing the boundaries of like what's actually attainable for a human. So it's like maybe they could, but I don't know, and I don't like the lack of transparency about it.
Rob Mchale, he got fat for like a whole season of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. For fun. He did that for fun. He like ate a tub of ice cream like every night.
And he couldn't eat it. It was on his lunch breaks, and he couldn't eat it all because I just watched his interview on it. Yeah. And he talks about how unrealistic a lot of the health stuff is, like everything that I was mentioning. It's impossible to eat that like every day consistently. I mean, maybe you could. Yeah. But he would melt it and drink 1 gallon of ice cream every day for lunch. And he's like, all right, if you want to gain weight, here's my best advice. Drink a gallon of ice cream. You want to lose weight? Stop drinking the gallon of ice cream. Because he like lost all the weight within like several weeks. Because within 2 weeks, he dropped 20 pounds of not eating his ice cream every day.
It's true, though. That I mean, dietary changes are huge. Which, by the way, what you guys were talking about, that made me think. When I was looking for a news story for today, there was one where this guy was like starting a raw meat diet, and it was a picture with him with a piece of like a chicken breast in his hand with a bite out of it, and he was like just to see what the effects would be. Dude. And I was just kind of sitting there like, I was like, that's cringe. Like, could you imagine just like taking a raw piece of chicken and just like, argh.
I've genuinely considered a carnivore diet before with like moderate vegetables, but raw sounds painful.
Yeah, because you can't even heat it up to make it like more. I was just thinking like, man, I would probably heat it up first. So like, oh man, I would just cook it.
You're like, oh no, I'm breaking rule number 1.
I would fail immediately at
this. First rule of raw carnivore diet.
Yeah.
Don't cook it. Don't warm it up. But maybe you could do like the like thermal siphoning or something, like put it in a room that's like, I don't know, like pull out all of the cool, or you like because you can't siphoning. That would be the opposite, because you can only pull out heat. You can't add it back into a thermal siphon.
Yeah, or else you just cook it.
Yeah, otherwise you just cook it. Like there's literally nothing you can do.
You have to eat at room temperature.
Michael Reeves, can you figure out how to warm up without cooking some raw meat?
Yeah. Oh, what a conundrum.
What a conundrum.
That's a fun one. Michael Reeves, where are you at? Where's all the fun?
Come on our podcast.
Where's all the fun creators, man? It makes me really sad because that's like the type of content I enjoy watching. Yeah. And all these people, like, I don't know if they get burnout or what, but all the people that are considered like inventors on YouTube, and they usually put out a video once a month when they were like grinding it out. Yeah. And now they're like 6+ months apart. Same thing with like JonTron, the people that put high production value in it.
They made all their money.
They made their money.
They're like, it's all good. I can make one every 6 months and still make the same amount of money. So why?
On Twitch TV, since people can have reoccurring subscriptions to your channel, there is a streamer. His name is Clint Stevens.
Okay.
He plays Mario 64, the original like game for the Nintendo 64.
Okay.
And he like plays it. He speed runs it. He tries to complete the game as fast as possible. Okay. But he hasn't streamed in 3 months, and he just randomly comes back. He's like, "Hey guys, sorry, I just wasn't feeling it." And that was his job. His job was streaming, and he just didn't do it for 3 months. And people were still like subscribed, and he was still getting paid to do it. Imagine you just taking a break randomly for 3 months for your job unplanned.
Dude.
Don't get any ideas.
Dude, that's just...
Talk about passive income.
Yeah. It's like it was a parasocial relationships where it's like, hey, if you're best friends with somebody and you see them daily, say the content creator uploads daily and all of a sudden they stop. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, we go out for lunch every day. That's our thing. I watch you at lunchtime. Creepy. And then all of a sudden they're like not there anymore. And like that interaction, that the parasocial relationship, which is like somebody online and you have like begin to perceive a relationship like friendship there.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's gone. Like they're not obligated to tell you why they leave, but like as a viewer, I feel like if we ever stopped for a reason, I feel like you're kind of obligated to, like, in some capacity, because like people have been supporting you for years and then all of a sudden you just drop off the earth for 3 months. It's like, it's kind of lame.
I agree. You got to address the people.
And that's why for the next 3 months, the TRIFLIX cast will be taking a break.
That's not true. Nope.
That is false.
False.
Oh, we are only 10 episodes in.
Well, we beat last season, right?
Nope.
12?
12.
Oh, well, one's already recorded and ready to go out. So one more, baby. Then we're done.
We got so many people lined up. The rest of the year, 2022, baby.
We're pretty close to it.
Yeah.
Honestly, we have a pretty good docket. But
process-
why talk about that? Because they're going to see it eventually.
The process is good now.
Yeah.
The process. We have a process at all.
We're like 80, a little bit over 80% there.
And you know the TRIFLIX way. We love to throw money at problems that we don't
fix 'em.
have. And
Yeah.
we got a new podcast recorder.
Yeah.
And we got some new mics and stuff coming too. It's gonna be great.
Yep. And
You
there's
know.
no way I can show it to you right now. Go check Instagram.
Yeah, we can't show you,
Check
but
it,
it is on Instagram.
Go check Instagram.
Check the gram.
Check the gram, man.
Oh, yeah.
We got new lights too. You want to talk about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
Because that turned into a very interesting experience.
Yeah.
What did we buy, Tristan?
We
What'd you
bought
buy?
some new lights. So the lights that you see here are, we got 5 in this room. Cole and I each have one. There's some behind us. There's one on David, one behind him. And it's like 7 lights total. The lights we bought, one single light out of the 5 we bought is brighter than all of these 7 lights combined. It is magnificent. And these lights are very special because they have a very high color accuracy. What does that mean?
Yeah.
You want your lights to look as close to the sun as possible because that's what people's eyes are used to seeing, a natural face. And you want your camera to capture a natural face, you need natural light.
The sun.
And the more accurate your light is to the sun, the more expensive it is. And there's a brand called Aperture. If you know anything about videos and lighting or whatever, that's like a really well-known name. It's well established, and they make great lights. They just came out with a budget version.
A budget.
They actually came out with a lot of budget. It's called Amaran, is their like cheaper line. They're prosumer, and we were looking at some for a while, and the reviews kept coming back kind of wacky, kind of wild. And we were like putting a budget together, trying to figure out what we needed. And then all of a sudden, even different, better panels come out. Instead of like a single LED, like shining real bright at one, we have a bunch of LEDs in an array that shine much more evenly and work much better for what we use them for. It comes with soft boxes, helps diffuse the light.
Yeah.
And we got 3 of them that do like normal colors, like what you'd see in your house, like the yellowy warm color and the bright cool color. But that's not the cool part. Cool part is the RGB ones, baby.
RGB.
RGB, it does all the colors, which is only actually 3 of. There's only 3 real colors that your eyes can see.
Only 3.
It's red, green, and blue. And then everything in between, your brain lies to you and says that's
they're actually RGBWW, I believe.
What's W?
White. I don't know what the second W is. I'm pretty sure it's RGBW.
Yeah. It's hard to recreate just everything with LEDs of just those colors because we just don't got that technology yet. But in your eyes, you just have little receptor doodads, and they only see the red, the green, and blue in different ways.
It is warm white is the WW. So also called bicolor, which is just the ray between the warm sunlight color and then the cool white color. Right.
Yep.
So,
yeah. All the wavelengths exist, but you can only see those specific red, green, and
so
blue.
other than the technical stuff, what was cool about it, Cole?
So we took the RGB lights, so the multicolor lights, and we set those up in our studio room, our multi-purpose shooting room. in front of a background, and I was like, let's test these things out. So we threw the 50 mil prime on the Nikon, and we shot at a really nice low
Those are
aperture.
beautiful lens.
And it is it's crispy. Whew.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, bokeh for a day.
Bokeh.
Bokeh.
Oh, it's just portrait mode on my iPhone.
Oh, don't get me started. So anyways, it's beautiful. So we set everything up as professionally as one can with our resources. And we put a light panel on the left and right side of our subject, which was either Tristan, David, or myself that night. And we were at the office till about midnight, kind of messing around, and like we pulled in some different props, and we kind of did some different poses and different combos of people and lights and colors. And we shot probably a couple hundred pictures, and we have kind of been trickling those out on the interweb. So check them out, guys.
They're beautiful.
Yeah, gosh, they turned out so good.
So
But
good.
don't look at them on Facebook.
Yeah, no.
It doesn't do good.
No.
Doesn't do it good.
I don't know if you guys have ever noticed, but when you post a picture on Facebook, it just gets a little grainy, just a little scratchy. Well,
Yeah, it goes through a trash compactor.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. It takes your beautiful image and it just says, no.
Yeah, it's like a lemon, and then you squeeze the lemon, and then you throw the peel out, and then it's like, all right, this is the picture, it's the peel, but all the juice, the part that you actually want, it went down the drain.
It's gone.
It's gone.
Oh
Who
no!
wants to look at the lemon peel? That's stupid.
Yeah.
I want the juice.
It's like a dried out raisin, even further beyond.
It's like a chicken nugget that's been sitting on your floorboard.
Yeah. It's like a
Oh my
raw
gosh.
uncooked piece of chicken.
Yeah, we get it. Chicken.
It's like
They look better on Instagram. So check them out on Instagram. And then I think, I'd like to think that at some point, like, we should either use the same concept. I think we're going to throw some imagery up on the website eventually, kind of pertaining to this setup.
yeah, that'll eventually happen. Big old website redesign.
Yeah.
Talk about that too. Make it beautiful.
But
It's so 2019.
I'd really like to get all of us in front too and just use some good bicolor lighting and just like kind of like just do some different lighting techniques. So pick some different positioning in the room and just try some different views, play with shadows and things, and just kind of like get some cool shots of everybody.
Yeah.
Just as we put the studio together, it'll be nice for you guys to be able to see what we look like and kind of get to know the team better. That's one of the things that we're trying to achieve this year. So kind of show, I added actually a highlight onto our Instagram page that just says the team. So if you guys want to see like us rolling up to a shoot or working at the office or doing things like, taking pictures with the lights, we're going to try to get some content of that to kind of show just the goofy side of us, making cool stuff though. So look out for that.
Sounds like a movie title. The Goofy Side of Us.
Coming this May.
Out now. Coming this summer.
The trailer shows
It's the
like
summer already.
trailer shows like 90% of the movie.
Yeah, I hate it when trailers do that, man. It's like, I want to see the movie.
But you gotta know what you're getting into.
Yeah.
Gotta know what you're getting
I have to
into.
see the movie before I see the movie.
I'll be honest, I kind of do that a little bit.
I don't.
You don't?
No.
I don't. I want to know whether it's worth my time. So I like to read wikis before I watch a movie.
No.
I'll read the information
What's wrong
ahead of
with
time.
you?
No.
And then sometimes there's a couple of YouTube channels
You're a
that
monster.
will break down movies, like an entire hour and a half movie, into like a 10-minute YouTube video, and then break down the entire plot. And I'm like, all right, I might watch that because it was interesting enough. Or
Wow.
And then I get
What's wrong with
I
you?
get to take away the main story elements and the hits and stuff. I'm like, all right, I can apply this to some ideas that I have.
You.
It's like
Don't watch it for fun.
Do you like
it's reverse.
surprises?
It's like reverse engineering. No.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah,
I mean, I like
don't
for my
like being
birthday,
spoiled
yeah.
on my movies. I want to experience it how it's what they wanted you to have an experience.
Like I'm pretty careful
Yeah.
even just about watching trailers, like especially movies I really want to see. Like I pretty much had seen like nothing coming up to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like a lot of those I was really
I was
careful.
in the dark too. Yep.
It was so nice.
It
Like
depends.
obviously
Yeah.
we all read and heard that like, there were going to be special appearances.
Yes.
But still.
Yeah. It just depends.
Question, and I'm going to give you two answers and just say which one.
Yeah.
Theater or watch at home?
Watch at home. Well,
David.
If I could, if it's a movie I really want to watch, and it's something I'm anticipating, I would try to watch it in the theater. If it's something I don't really care about, like a DC movie, calling you out, DC, I'll probably just watch it at home.
Okay.
Stream it.
Yeah, they're just gonna go back in time anyways.
Because I hate what Netflix does. Like any streaming service, it does what Facebook does to photos. It just murders the video quality like no other.
Yeah.
I hate it so much. And especially with streaming exclusive shows, I hate watching them on streams because I can just see the horrible video quality of it. It's there's no other way for me to watch this because The Mandalorian's only on Disney Plus. I'd rather buy a DVD of it and watch it because then it'd get better video quality and I can appreciate it more and it wouldn't look like garbage.
Well, one sec. So
I'm sure you don't have a crappy TV.
I'll do IMAX if it's a movie I really anticipated, and if it's a movie I loved, I will go buy the 4K Blu-ray HD of it. I only own 3 Blu-rays. I don't even own a player, but I just in advance I know some point when I have room I'll have it. So there's very 2 small use cases, but 90+% is I just want to watch it at home so I can hit pause when I have to pee.
Well, so I was just curious. It kind of came in my mind. I'm the same way as Tristan. I hate people. So
yeah, they're worse.
We went to. Sorry, that is not true. I just didn't. I didn't enjoy
But you should totally listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
No, it's because that's not true. I don't. Some people's behavior in public is not so great, and I just don't understand it. When we went and saw Spider-Man, don't cheer, don't be loud,
don't walk in late.
Well, that's, yeah. Don't go to the wrong theater.
Oh my goodness!
It's just I want to. I'm there to immerse myself. I want to sit there and watch it, and just I don't pause to go to the bathroom. I'm not even like that. I just want to watch it and see it on my own time in my own space.
Yeah.
And not have anybody else next to me shoving popcorn in their mouth. and opening up their candy bar and everything. I don't know. It's a very intimate thing for me, I'm excited for, the Spider-Man to come out and I can watch it at home because I will watch it at home again so that I can have that experience of sitting there. Because I get it. Streams aren't great, but they're not horrible.
No, I just notice all the artifacts that come with it. I know there's certain visual things that happen on streams that just do not happen when you have the actual footage.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's because I've studied it and I know why and when it happens, and so my brain's just oh, that's it. That's the thing that's happening right there.
There's also some hardware enabled features where it's they
true.
won't send you certain versions of the video of the movie or TV show unless your TV's able to HDR, and they're oh, here's our better version of the movie. It's
true.
It would have looked better on my crappy TV too. And they're your TV's not good enough. Or there's 4K and stuff. They won't even give you the option for 4K on a lower res monitor because they're well, you don't even need it. It's but it would still look more crisp and I'd get more data. They're we don't care.
I don't think the theater is amazing.
No
picture.
No,
not anymore.
That's what I'm it used to be, right? You go and be oh my gosh. But it's I don't go and I'm oh, this is so much crisper than my TV.
Well, I don't have an amazing TV. You're right about that. But if I
figured.
I don't really watch stuff on my TV anyway. I have decent computer
I watch it on my
monitors.
phone.
I watch it.
I sit there in my bed and watch it on my phone because I like little screens.
They always joke MKBHD, whoever their editor is or the guy that does their podcast, they'll be talking about something and the guy off on the side will be oh yeah, that's so cool. I just don't have the budget for it. And then they'll always cut back to MKBHD, the guy that pays his checks and stuff. He's subtly giving hints of oh, but if I made more money.
Oh my gosh.
It's I could have a better TV.
Yeah. Yeah, if I had enough money.
Yeah.
Well, for all of us.
We could all have better TVs.
Yeah, my lighting zones are hateful on my TV.
Yeah, I noticed.
It's 4 zones.
Yeah, I don't want to watch anything at your house.
So
lay off, man. Lay off. You guys got anything else? A little random something? Just throw something at the end?
I wanted to jump back on the lights we were talking about earlier.
No.
You said we were going to do 3-point lighting, some 2-point lighting stuff.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah. That feeds back into, if you want to learn more about that stuff, we were talking about bringing the tutorials back.
Yes, you know, that's a great subject to end on here. Tristan and I both had a conversation recently about the fact that we spend a lot of time in front of computer screens doing a lot of editing, and we use a lot of specialized software. We have a lot of special techniques that we use, and we've heard a little bit of feedback that maybe some people would be interested in like seeing how to do that and having our personalities and production level behind it. So Tristan has done it for a very long time. Up until recently, we weren't putting out any tutorial content, but we were kind of regurgitating some older stuff that needed to be edited when I first came on, so a couple years ago. But we want to bring it back.
It's super funny because it was
we bought all the stuff.
We were doing the BTS. And then we stopped, and then we recorded this so we were doing the tutorials, we stopped, we did the BTS, we started recording them, and took like months to edit it. And one of the BTS that actually came out, I guess, within the last 2 months or so, we talk about like rebuilding our, rebuilding like the stage or whatever, like the environment that we were going to be shooting all the tutorials at my old apartment. As you were learning Final Cut Pro, but that was like a year ago. So it wasn't even like a relevant location anymore. But like we already had the footage and like, whatever, it's a good story. We ship it out, and then like a year later, we put out the video, and we're like, we should probably start doing those tutorials again.
Well, it's just so, I mean, Tristan and I both got a couple pieces of gear to make sure that, you know, it's accessible as sitting down and hitting a couple buttons and maybe plugging in a couple cables and then tutorial.
And so like we have a lot of content that goes out, and we talk about like Disney, and it's like, oh, they just always are just pooping out content and people just keep watching it. It's like, we don't want to just put out silly like things that have no value. Like it either has to help us grow a skill or to be worth people people would actually enjoy watching this because we enjoy watching it type of thing. And we've like run into the issue with like the BTS. It's like I really love doing them, but we're just so busy. I haven't had the time to do final passes on them. And our editor Daniel isn't at the point where he can like give a project out at 99%. It's more like 85%. And it's like there's too much work for me to finish up. So we want to find things that we can consistently put out and try to pivot his uses, like in his talents. It's like he's a good editor, and I think with the tutorials it's a little more straightforward. It's like you write a script, you shoot it, he has like the verbiage of what's supposed to be said and what's supposed to be covered, and then you know he can show it to us, and it's pretty linear. There's not a whole lot of storytelling to it. So for that reason, it's like it's a really good fit for this time because he's starting to wind down on some other projects we had him on, and he's picking up hours. So it's like to get him out of a lull, we're preemptively starting to shoot these tutorials to ready him for it. I don't know when they'll be out.
That's there's a couple things like now that we're a little more calculated about our moves. You know, our main driving factor is like what Tristan said. It's a value add. We want to add value for the people who are watching the content, and a lot of times that's education. So we want to share some of that knowledge. But with us having learned a lot recently about our process, we're going to make sure that we have all of our ducks in a row before we start filming. So that we can get it out and get it in a timely manner, and hopefully, you know, keep up on our scheduling.
There'll be some stuff that still comes out that's unscripted, but
sure
we're pushing more towards the actual, like we said, having an actual producer for all the shows if it's something that's intended to be a show. And along with those scripts is like, and the producers is like having a little more vision before we start shooting things. BTS, I don't know, maybe we'll bring it back on. I really want it to, but time is a little more valuably placed elsewhere.
Yes. Growing monetarily.
I don't know, support us on Patreon that doesn't exist, and maybe we can afford doing more fun stuff.
Does it not? I thought you had one.
I thought we did.
I'm pretty sure we still link to it.
Jank.
Okay.
It exists with like all old logos and designs, and none of the like.
Well, maybe we should update it.
Yeah, maybe we should
Why
give
not?
it some love.
Maybe we should.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if you like what we're doing, throw us a donation.
I swear, like if we haven't updated it, there's like a tier that if like you give $50, you're gonna be in a video.
It's still not something we could do.
We would still validate that, you know, if somebody threw out $50. But I think it's hilarious that like
that's pretty funny.
That's been there for like 4 or 5 years.
Be in a video.
And it's like regardless of where you live, we'll make it work as like in parentheses.
Yeah. Do like Joel Haver style, where like rotoscope you or whatever.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, cell phone
Go
footage.
check that out if you don't mind some edgy jokes. Like it's not super bad, but like Joel Haver just put out one with Charlie.
Yeah.
And he's been making jokes about Charlie, Penguin Zero, what else does Moist Critical.
Yeah.
He's got several names. Super funny guy, really big on the YouTubes. But he just finally put a video out with them.
Yeah.
It's like been longly anticipated if you're into that type of thing. I'm super happy about it. But hey, what else we got? Let's wrap it up. Let's do the thing.
That's it.
That's it.
That's what we're gonna do.
It's just no plugs this episode. You know what to do.
No, come on, guys. I can't leave you hanging. Go check out our YouTube. We got TRIFLIX Films, TRIFLIX Team, and TRIFLIX Cast. It's all the good stuff. You can watch this podcast in a video format on the TRIFLIX Cast channel. And then you can also go check us out on TRIFLIX Cast on the Instagram and TRIFLIX LLC on Instagram to see all of our goodies. And hey, you know what? Maybe you want to come on the show? Hit us up. We'd love to have you on if you're in the area. What else? We also have a website, and you can go to it. And if you could hire us if you'd like to, we're doing a lot of cool stuff, and we'd love to use our equipment to help you and your company or yourself make money. And that's what we're here for.
Yeah, help me with my objectives. Go subscribe to TRIFLIX Team and have a good day.
Watch our reels.